Unite takes government to court over scrapped winter fuel payments unit, one of the UK's largest trade unions, has launched legal action against the government over its decision to halt winter fuel payments for certain households. The union argues that the policy change disproportionately affects vulnerable groups, leaving millions of pensioners and low-income families struggling to heat their homes during the colder months. The decision to stop winter fuel payments. The government recently announced plans to restrict eligibility for the winter fuel payment scheme as part of broader cost-cutting measures. Previously, payments were universal for pensioners, but the revised policy targets only those receiving certain benefits. Critics say this leaves many elderly individuals and households just above the benefits threshold out in the cold, both literally and figuratively. Unite's Case Unit General Secretary Sharon Graham described the move as callous and short-sighted. The union claims the decision violates the government's duty to protect citizens' welfare, particularly amid rising energy costs. Unite's legal argument hinges on two key points: discrimination. Against vulnerable groups, Unite contends the cuts disproportionately impact the elderly, disabled, and low-income households, many of whom are already grappling with fuel poverty. Failure to assess impact. The union alleges that the government failed to conduct a proper impact assessment before implementing the changes, ignoring the potential for severe hardship. Public reaction. The policy change has sparked widespread backlash. Advocacy groups have joined Unite in criticizing the government, highlighting the challenges faced by households already struggling with skyrocketing energy bills. Local councils have also expressed concern, warning that increased fuel poverty could strain social services as more people turn to emergency shelters and food banks. Government response. The government defends the changes as necessary to ensure long-term fiscal stability. A spokesperson stated, "The revised winter fuel payment scheme is targeted to support those most in need, while allowing us to responsibly manage public finances." However, critics argue that such savings come at the expense of the most vulnerable, particularly as inflation and energy costs continue to rise. What's next? Unite's legal challenge is set to be heard in court early next year. The case has reignited debates about the government's priorities, with opposition parties calling for an urgent review of policies affecting vulnerable households. As the legal battle unfolds, the outcome could set a significant precedent for how the UK balances austerity measures with social responsibility. In the meantime, Unite has pledged to continue fighting for the reinstatement of universal winter fuel payments, urging the public to voice their opposition to the cuts.